Have you ever looked at your life, maybe in a moment of pain or struggle, and just cried out, "God, why me?" It's a deeply human question. We see some people who seem to have it all. Their lives are a string of successes, while others face one hardship after another. It can feel unfair, random, and even cruel. So what does the Bible actually say about this? Why does it seem like God chooses some to gain and others to suffer? Let's explore this together. First, it is crucial to understand that the Bible doesn't teach that. God randomly picks favorites to bless and others to curse with suffering. The narrative is far more complex and profound. A common misconception is that if you're righteous, you'll be rich and healthy, and if you're suffering, you must have done something wrong. The book of Job directly challenges this idea. Job was a man described as blameless and upright, yet he endured unimaginable loss. His friends insisted he must have sinned, but the story reveals that his suffering wasn't a punishment. It was part of a much larger, cosmic spiritual reality that Job couldn't see. His story teaches us that suffering is not always a direct consequence of personal sin. So if it's not always about punishment, what's happening? One powerful, though less common, parable that sheds light on this is the parable of the weeds, found in Matthew chapter 13. A farmer sows good seed, but his enemy comes at night and sows weeds among the wheat. When the plants grow, the servants ask the master if they should pull up the weeds. The master says no, because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. This world is a mix of good and evil, of wheat and weeds. God, in His wisdom, allows both to coexist for a time. This means that hardship, the weeds, can grow right alongside blessings. The wheat in everyone's life, regardless of their faith. The final judgment and separation are reserved for the end of the age. Another key perspective is that God uses suffering for a purpose we often can't comprehend at the moment. Think about the story of Joseph. His brothers sold him into slavery out of jealousy. He was falsely accused and thrown into prison. From any outside perspective, his life was one of unjust suffering. He could have easily asked, "God, why me?" But at the end of the story, when he is in a position of power in Egypt and able to save his family and the entire nation from famine, he says to his brothers in Genesis 50-20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." God didn't cause the evil his brothers did, but he masterfully wove their sinful choices into a grand tapestry of redemption and salvation. God is a redeemer, capable of turning the greatest pains into the greatest purposes. The Apostle Paul, who endured beatings, shipwrecks, and constant danger, gives us another powerful insight. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, he speaks of a thorn in my flesh, a persistent suffering he begged God to take away. God's response wasn't to remove the pain, but to say, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Paul then comes to a startling conclusion. "Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me." This flips our entire understanding of strength and weakness on its head. Sometimes God allows us to remain in a place of weakness, not because He has abandoned us, but because it's in that very weakness that His power and grace are most clearly displayed, both to us and to the world. Our struggles can become a platform for God's strength. Ultimately, the Christian faith points to the cross. If we ever doubt God's love for us in our suffering, we must look to Jesus, the one person who was truly perfect and undeserving of any pain. God the Son endured the most brutal suffering imaginable. Hebrews 12 says, "For the joy set before him, he endured the cross." His suffering wasn't meaningless. It was the very act that brought about salvation for all humanity. He understands our pain because he experienced it. He entered into our suffering to redeem it. So when we cry out, "God, why me?" the Bible doesn't offer a simple formula. It shows us that suffering isn't always punishment, that evil coexists with good in this world for a season, that God is a master at turning evil into good, and that our weakness can be the very place his power shines brightest. Most importantly, it points us to a God who loved us so much that he was willing to suffer alongside us and for us. If this topic resonates with you and you're looking to explore more about faith, purpose, and finding hope in hard times, please subscribe to our channel. We're building a community here to tackle these big questions together. Thanks for watching.